Marvel is famous for its believable and grounded superheroes. Characters like Spider-Man and Captain America or Hawkeye are human beings who deal with real problems and have limited powers to fight for justice. Sure, Spider-Man can crawl on walls and Captain America is the peak of physical perfection, but they're not spending every day fighting cosmic forces and alien invasions. Even the X-Men spend most of their time fighting other mutants or superpowered beings. Despite Marvel's grounded roots, these heroes often find themselves pitted against dark forces far beyond mere mortals. The mysterious and godlike abilities these forces hold make for some of the scariest villains the Marvel heroes face. Their power makes the heroes' eventual triumph all the more rewarding because the odds are so stacked against them. These evil forces take many different forms of varying power, from mind control and teleportation to the ultimate evil in the universe, God's Hulk. So join us as we take a look at some of the vilest and most corrupting powers in the multiverse, if you dare. Just be careful not to get lost in the dark. Number 10. The Dark Force. Our first Dark Force is, the Dark Force. This is one of the most mysterious sources of power in the Marvel Universe. Those who wield this power gain their abilities by tapping into the Dark Force dimension. The most notable character to use the Dark Force is Tyrone Johnson, aka Cloak of the inseparable pair, Cloak and Dagger. Cloak channels Dark Force energy to teleport by entering the Dark Force dimension, moving a short distance, and emerging back on Earth wherever he wants to go. He's able to teleport others as well, once transporting dozens of Avengers and villains from the negative zone to the middle of New York. However, transporting that many is exhausting for him. Cloak uses Dark Force energy as a weapon by spreading its darkness out to envelop his enemies. Most people exposed to Dark Force suffer from a numbing sense of cold and often experience terrifying visions of their greatest fears and nightmares. Other Dark Force users include lesser-known characters, the Shroud and Darkstar, each of whom have shown expert manipulation and control over the Dark Force. Another significant Dark Force user is the Spider-Man villain Mr. Negative. His personal brand of Dark Force power allows him to enhance his physical strength to be an equal match to Spider-Man. He is also able to charge any weapon with the Dark Force to increase its durability and strength, and can even make it explode. Those who played the PlayStation Spider-Man game are most familiar with his corrupting touch, which allows him to control people to do his bidding. Mr. Negative even corrupted Spider-Man to the point he hated everything he held dear, including the very memory of his Uncle Ben. Spider-Man became so violent he nearly killed his former girlfriend, Betty Brant, before coming to his senses. The Dark Force absorbs all light and heat from its surroundings. Most people perceive this as an inky blackness that can take many different physical properties. It can appear as mist or be used as camouflage to sink into shadows. But a strong field can be used like a Green Lantern ring and formed into physical objects to use as weapons or tools. The Dark Force is a handy weapon, but its potential for destruction is minimal compared to any of the others on this list, which have driven even the noblest heroes to madness. But before we get too lost in the dark, be sure to subscribe to the channel with notifications on to never miss an upload, and smash that like button for some plot armor today. Number 9. The Shadow King. Happiness is a lie. Life is horror. The light is always dying all across the universe. The last star will flicker out someday. When it does, all that remains, shadow. And I will be its king. The mutant Amal Farouk was originally introduced as a powerful psychic, an evil counterpart to X-Men founder Professor X. But the truth of the Shadow King was far more sinister. The Shadow King was actually a multiversal entity and a manifestation of the dark side of human consciousness. The evil creature first battled Professor X in Cairo. At the time, Shadow King was possessing Farouk and had become Egypt's most notorious crime lord. Xavier confronted Farouk, and they sat across from one another in silence. But on the mental plane, they fought a vicious battle. Xavier was ultimately victorious and believed he had killed the evil mutant. This was Xavier's first encounter with an evil mutant, which inspired him to create the X-Men. Years later, the King returned, more powerful than ever. He took over Xavier's Omega-level mutant son, Legion, and spread his influence across Muir Island. After drawing the X-Men to him, he destroyed the island in a massive explosion. Amidst the wreckage, Professor X battled him in the psychic realm. But the Shadow King overpowered and tortured Xavier. the psychic pain even paralyzing Professor X after he had recently regained the use of his legs. A surprise psychic attack from Psylocke broke the Shadow King's link to the physical realm, but the trauma of the possession left the Omega-powered Legion catatonic. As a manifestation of the darkness in the human heart, Shadow King is essentially unkillable so long as humankind fears and hates others. The Dark Force's psychic abilities even outclass Professor X. At one time, the Shadow King disrupted the psychic abilities of every telepath on the planet, leaving them powerless. He can read minds, communicate mentally, and project bolts of psychic force. He can project his psychic form across the planet and has claimed to be able to control every mind on Earth. The Shadow King feeds on the darkness in the human heart, and emotions like fear and anger empower him. As a multiversal singularity, every instance of the Shadow King across alternate realities is really a fragment of the same being. And he's not the only dark entity on this list that exists across every possible world in the multiverse. Number 8. The Spirits of Vengeance. He's the man with the flaming skull, the Ghost Rider. Charged with bringing righteous vengeance to evildoers, Ghost Rider is the tool of a group of dark beings known as the Spirits of Vengeance. The truth behind these spirits has been shrouded in mystery. Some have claimed to be avenging angels in the service of God, while the demon Mephisto has claimed them as his servants. In addition to the trademark flaming skull, any form of travel they use becomes enchanted with the same hellfire. The oldest known spirit of vengeance in the world was the Ghost Rider of 1 million BC, who rode a flaming mammoth. If I so desire, mine is the power to char the man's soul without singeing a hair on his head. And I so desire. According to Doctor Strange, Ghost Rider's potential power is unlimited, held back only by its human host that acts as a safety valve. The host limits the Spirit of Vengeance's raw potential. But a Ghost Rider unleashed is potentially godlike and one of the most powerful beings on Earth. During World War Hulk, when the deadly Green Star Hulk took his vengeance on the planet, Ghost Rider was one of the few that posed any threat to the Hulk. He unleashed a giant explosion of hellfire that leveled a city block. The Spirits of Vengeance grant their hosts complete control over hellfire, which can manifest as an explosion like the one used on the Hulk. The hellfire can also empower any object, like Ghost Rider's trademark flaming chain. But the Spirit's true strength is in manipulating a human being's sins. The most deadly tool they have is the penance stare. Whoever stares into the rider's eyes will see and feel every bit of pain they have ever inflicted on anyone in their lifetime. For the truly evil, the penance stare can result in being burned from the inside out, as if engulfed in flames. For others, it causes severe pain and suffering and can even leave them with long-term depression. It has driven others to end their own lives. Given that almost no human exists without sin, when used on even a hero like Doctor Strange, it will leave them temporarily unconscious. These Spirits of Vengeance can control the souls of the damned, but that can't compete with energies like the potential to overwrite reality, like number 7. Number 7. The Zero Force. As the newest dark force on this list, not much is known about this powerful energy except that when it is unleashed, it spells disaster for all of reality. The Zero Force was first revealed when the Cormorant, a herald for a being from a higher plane of reality, came looking for a mysterious power source. It first came looking for this power at Doctor Doom's castle, where Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman, was spying on the villain. But after finding nothing there, the Cormorant's next target was Reed Richards. Sue did not believe that Reed would be hiding something with the potential power to destroy a planet. She called her husband and asked if he was hiding a secret mystery box that, in the hands of an all-powerful being, could threaten life on Earth as we know it. Reed clarified that no, it wasn't a threat to life on Earth. Sue responded back, "Tell me it's not the universe." Reed's only response was to assemble the rest of the Fantastic Four right away. The Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom rallied around the destroyed rubble of their home base, the Baxter Building, to protect Container Zero, which held the mystery power. The four clashed with the Cormorant, but were unable to stop him from opening Container Zero. The mystery power exploded in a blinding white-hot light that consumed the sky. They were looking at the Zero Force, the energy that ends one universe and starts another. Unleashed, its power would overwrite their existence with another. With only seconds to spare before reality was undone, Valeria Richards, Reed and Sue's super genius daughter, arrived and dropped an experimental teleportation gate she had been building on top of the crackling energy. The gate absorbed the Zero Force and powered on. Doom recognized the new creation as an incredible tool, a portal to any point in space and time, a forever gate. The Zero Force linked the Forever Gate to every point in reality, which meant that when utilized by a cosmic entity like the Griever, one of the Marvel Universe's manifestations of death, it could end all life in every reality at once. In an alternate reality where Uatu the Watcher never warned humanity of the coming of Galactus, Reed Richards discovered and created artificial zero energy from Galactus' ship. With that power, Reed created a version of the Ultimate Nullifier and destroyed Galactus with a single blast. With its unstable and unpredictable nature, the Zero Force is one of the most dangerous energies in all of creation. Speaking of unpredictable energy, the next dark power on this list has caused all kinds of unpredictable chaos. Number 6. Chaos Magic. Longtime Plot Armor Comics viewers know by now that the Scarlet Witch is one of the most powerful beings in the Marvel Universe. She gets that power by drawing on the mysterious Chaos Magic, a black magic so obscure that not even Doctor Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme himself, believed it actually existed. Chaos Magic has the power to warp and reconstruct the fabric of existence and reality in whatever way its user desires, even potentially destroying all the cosmos. We know most of what Chaos Magic is capable of through the Scarlet Witch's powerful feats. Originally created by the ancient demon Chthon, who ruled over the planet as the god of chaos. He was eventually banished when all of the mages on the planet came together to end his reign with a mystical lie. There is no god of chaos, and there is no chaos magic. Chthon was sealed within Mount Wundagore, the birthplace of Wanda Maximoff. When she was born, the god of chaos corrupted her. Chthon planned to use Wanda as his vessel to return to Earth. As Wanda grew older, her powers increased exponentially as a result of her chaos magic. For some unknown reason, perhaps simply because his magic is so much more potent there, Scarlet Witch's chaos magic is far more powerful in the DC universe, as she discovered during the crossover event Avengers/JLA. Scarlet Witch's most incredible feats came during House of M. In that event, she completely rewrote Earth's history so that her stepfather Magneto and their family ruled over the planet. She also brought back her 2 sons, who she had previously created with magic and lost. To keep their reign safe, she provided many of her heroic allies with their deepest desires, so they would not be tempted to undo her magic. When the House of M was undone and her sons lost for a second time, a grief-stricken Wanda wiped out all but 198 of the thousands of mutants on the planet with 3 words: no more mutants. Eventually, Wanda faced the Chaos God Chthon directly. With the use of the ancient book of black magic, the Darkhold, Scarlet Witch defeated Chthon and absorbed his power. Now I am the true Darkhold. You haunted me for so long, but in the end, you do not possess me, Chthon. I possess you. Wanda's chaos magic also proved to be one of the few powers that could harm or slow down the power of the Phoenix Force, a multiversal constant and embodiment of death and resurrection, and one of the most powerful forces on this list. Too bad she wasn't around to stop the next Dark Force, which has the power to devour entire multiverses. Number 5. The Black Winter. This dark force makes Galactus the World Eater look like an amateur. Where Galactus retains cosmic balance by devouring worlds, the Black Winter does the same by devouring entire universes. It was the Black Winter that destroyed the 6th iteration of the Marvel Universe, which led directly to Galan of Ta, the universe's last survivor, transforming into Galactus. The Winter's first major show of strength was his utter defeat of Galactus. A battered and bruised World Eater crashed into the kingdom of Asgard to warn Thor of the coming of the Star Plague. Along with Galactus came an unnatural cold and unending snow that slowly killed the Asgardian Tree of Life. To combat the Black Winter, the Silver Surfer led Galactus to 5 planets of great energy that together would expand Galactus's power beyond anything ever seen in the universe. To ensure that he could keep an eye on Thor, Galactus used his powers to bond Thor to him as one of his heralds, amping up the Thunder God with the power cosmic. But even these supercharged versions of Galactus and Thor could not defeat the Black Winter. It was not until Thor absorbed all of Galactus's power, leaving him an empty husk, that the Black Winter was vanquished. Thor unleashed all of his godly power, the Odin Force, the power cosmic, and the energy of millions of worlds destroyed by Galactus, in a massive lightning bolt that seemed to incinerate the Black Winter into a single black snowflake. The Black Winter's effects were felt in the same way whenever it struck. Anywhere it went was sapped of heat, leading to what appeared to be deadly black snow. These dark flakes incinerated anything they touched, even human flesh and bone. The Black Winter even destroyed a version of the DC Universe and easily eliminated the combined power of their Justice League, grasping and closing an ethereal hand over the entire universe, snuffing it out into nothingness. The Winter had the ability to grant a portion of its powers to others and bend them to its will. As Galactus created heralds like the Silver Surfer to find planets for him to feed on, the Black Winter created Galactus as its herald to find suitable universes. The Black Winter might be an incredible force, but its power was limited to mere destruction, unlike our top 3 dark forces that have proven they can change the course of time. Number 4. The Living Abyss. This primordial darkness was the void between realities that birthed the evil Null, god of the symbiotes. The Living Abyss was the source of the symbiotes, and Gore the God Butcher's deity-slaying weapon, All Black the Necrosword. This eternal blackness possesses parasitic and corruptive properties with seemingly no limit to what it can infect or overtake. Like other forces of darkness, the Abyss is cold to the touch and eradicates all light in its proximity. The Living Abyss's dark powers are enough to kill gods and absorb their energy. Null was able to use the Abyss to decapitate a celestial. The evil Shinto god, the Chaos King, also controlled the Abyss. Like Null, Chaos King could change form and size, and transform parts of his bodies into razor-sharp blades. Even lesser offshoots of the Abyss, like the Venom symbiote, retain similar powers and attributes, although at a lesser scale. Null's more powerful creations, including All Black the Necrosword and the symbiote dragons, have proven capable of murdering deities and giving even the most powerful heroes in the Marvel Universe a run for their money. The Living Abyss is ancient, but it is a remnant of the darkness between universes, while our final dark forces predate existence altogether. Number 3. The Phoenix Force. I am fire and life incarnate. Now and forever, I am Phoenix. The Phoenix first appeared when Jean Grey used her psychic powers to save the X-Men as their rocket hurtled toward Earth in certain destruction. As Jean expanded her telekinetic powers beyond her limits, she connected with a cosmic force as old as creation. At first, the Phoenix seemed to simply boost Jean's natural psychic powers, but it soon revealed itself to be much more. As Phoenix, Jean could transport herself and the other X-Men across the universe, and contain the explosion of a neutron star that had the potential to destroy the universe. The Phoenix soon corrupted and used Jean to satiate its need for destruction. In the Dark Phoenix saga, its full destructive power was unleashed. The Dark Phoenix fed on a star in the Debari system, destroying all life on a nearby planet. It was only stopped when Jean sacrificed herself, leaving the Phoenix without a host. The Phoenix would go on to take other mortal hosts, most notably during Avengers vs. X-Men, when it split its essence into the Phoenix Five: Cyclops, the White Queen, Magic, Colossus, and Namor. They used Phoenix's powers of creation to reshape the world. They turned deserts into thriving gardens and created supplies of fresh water, food, and power in places of need. They even outlawed all weapons, eradicating nuclear arsenals throughout the world. But the Phoenix's corrupting force meant they did so by ruling with an iron fist. In the end, Cyclops took the entirety of the Phoenix within him and stood against the combined efforts of the Avengers and X-Men. The Phoenix Force is a multiversal constant, embodying the powers of creation and destruction and containing the life energy of all that is yet to be born. Its power manifests in concussive blasts of energy, immense psychic power, and flames that burn at extreme heat even in the vacuum of space. Those who temporarily control the Phoenix Force can reach through time to implant subconscious suggestions in others. The Phoenix has always been most powerful when bonded to the mutant Jean Grey, with whom it seems to have a unique bond. It was her ability to rewrite reality through telekinetic control of individual atoms and reach through time that helped to avert a potentially disastrous future where life on Earth was nearly extinct. Despite all its power, the Phoenix Force's destructive potential might be a mere extension of Number 2's darkness. Number 2. The Anti-All. None of these dark forces would exist without the Anti-All. It is living darkness that dwelled in the third cosmos and embodied destruction and non-existence. It predated even the concept of good or evil. In the third cosmos, there was just the darkness and the light, vying for supremacy in eternal battle. The darkness was the Anti-All, a massive black dragon, while the light was Lifebringer 1, a golden, glowing warrior. Doctor Strange and his ragtag group of defenders encountered the Anti-All after traveling back through time to earlier iterations of the universe to stop a threat to all reality. At the end of their journey, the defenders found themselves in the third iteration of the cosmos, a universe devoid of even the concepts of magic, science, or narrative. Anti-All and Lifebringer 1 were not avatars of good or evil, but primordial forces of creation and negation. It was a battle of existence versus nothingness. And that battle was all there was in the entire universe. Because this version of reality was devoid of any magic or science, when the heroes tried to use their powers to stop their time-traveling enemy, they drained Lifebringer 1 of his power because he was the only source of energy. As a result, the Anti-All began to overpower the light of existence. Nothingness threatened to take over. Doctor Strange warned, if the old dragon wins, if the primal absence defeats the drive to exist, our home universes will never have been. Together, the defenders combined their powers with the Masked Raider, a man who wore a piece of eternity itself and represented the power and potential of all of the future universes. With assistance from the defenders, they were able to revitalize Lifebringer 1 and shatter the Anti-All. Strange believed that it broke into enough pieces for every part of the multiverse. As a result, every force of nothingness in their own time they had ever faced was but a piece of the original darkness. If Strange was correct, then the many dark forces that make up this list are actually pieces of this original evil. Whenever heroes contend with the corrupting forces of entropy, decay, and death, the Anti-All is there. But there is one that existed before even the third cosmos, one that is as old as the original spark of creation itself. Number 1. The One Below All. Does God have a Hulk? That's the question posed in the pages of Immortal Hulk. In the story, Hulk discovered all gamma mutates in the Marvel Universe are immortal, connected to the Below Place and its master, the One Below All. The Below Place is the lowest point in all reality, where the One Below All rules. But this hell is sealed off from the rest of the multiverse through the Green Door, which can only be opened through extreme gamma events. When Bruce Banner was caught in the gamma bomb explosion that created the Hulk, he opened a Green Door and was cursed with a portion of the One Below All's power. In an alternate future, the One Below All took over Banner's body, eliminating Banner's consciousness and all of his many alternate personalities. With the Hulk's strength, he devoured the sentience of the cosmos and ascended into the ninth cosmos as the next World Eater. From there, it destroyed the entire multiverse. The One Below All sought total nothingness. As the equal and opposite of the One Above All, the creator of all things, it was a pure engine of destruction and hate. It could not create, only destroy. Its aim was to consume everything so that the multiverse would be as empty as it was. Just as the Hulk was Bruce Banner's rage and darkness given form, the One Below All was the ultimate darkness of the ultimate good. Unlike the other forces we've talked about, this One Below All is not a singular entity, but exists within all of creation. It claims to speak with many mouths, and that it has all the power you give me, and my weapon is hate. It exists in the hatred and anger of mortal hearts. Its power is essentially limitless, and all acts of destruction are an extension of it. The One Below can create creatures called Clip-Off, empty husks that take on the form of a person's loved one to torment them. It was also capable of creating demonic creatures that could do battle with the Hulk. In the depths of its realm, it could cast powerful illusions. The One Below All can take direct control of any gamma mutate, like when it controlled Hulk's enemy, the Leader. By doing so, it corrupts them into a monstrous form. When the Hulk demanded to know why the One Below tormented him, it revealed its true self as an extension of the One Above All and spoke in riddles. With these hands I build, with other hands I break. I break to build anew. The One Below existed to destroy, to prepare the world to rebuild. Luckily for the Marvel Universe, the forces of light outnumber the dark, and they always manage to overpower the darkness. Because if any of these dreaded forces were victorious, there would be no coming back. What do you think? Are there any more frightening forces of darkness that deserve to be on this list? Let us know in the comments below what you think the ultimate dark force in the Marvel Universe truly is. And remember, like and subscribe to Plot Armor Comics for more epic countdowns.